Today, I have my good friend Nemo from the Scrappy Academy YouTube channel here with me to dive deep into the Paragon system inside of Diablo Immortal. Let's get into it. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and welcome back to the channel where we're covering more Diablo Immortal today, diving deep into the depths of the Paragon system. And to do this, I have my good friend Nemo, because while I chose to play all of the characters inside of Diablo Immortal and not dive very deep into Paragon, Nemo, although he also did play all the characters, dove a little bit deeper into the Paragon system and has a good understanding of how it works. So I figure, why not pull him onto the channel and kind of pick his brain as to what this system is all about. So Nemo, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Echo, what's happening? Thanks so much for having me on the channel. This is very exciting. Paragon is where everybody's going to want to be once you get to max level. So let's definitely talk about it. I'm excited.
Yeah, and before we get into any of that though, guys, first of all, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for daily Diablo Immortal content. But I also urge you to go check out the Scrappy Academy YouTube channel. Not only is he my good friend, not only is he the co-host on the Immortal podcast that we do every other Sunday, but he also covers Diablo Immortal every day, every other day, depending on, well, whatever's going on. Go check out his channel, check out his stuff. If you like it, subscribe to his channel as well. But Nemo, let's start this out by telling everyone, what is Paragon? What does that even mean inside of Diablo Immortal or any other Diablo game? Guys, I want to remind you that I'm live streaming over on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and on every other Sunday, Nemo and I come together for the Immortal podcast, where we discuss the alpha and anything that we know regarding Diablo Immortal. To be part of these live events, I'm going to be pinning a comment which has my Twitch link. I also do it on YouTube sometimes too, but make sure you follow on Twitch. That's where I will be live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and where the podcasts are going to be on Sundays. See you guys there.
Sounds good, Echo. So Paragon. So when you start Diablo Immortal and you start playing, you have 60 levels, right? You're going to get through those 60 levels and get to max. Now that max can be changed, but at the end of the day, once you get to max, you kind of get to the end game. And the end game of Diablo Immortal, you're still able to progress your character. So even when you get to max, a Paragon basically is a way for you to continually play and increase passive stats on your character. Now, in regular Diablo, it's basically like a big kind of basket of things that you could throw. Stats like attack speed, movement speed, things like that. You could slowly increase with every Paragon point. If you look at the bottom, whenever you like playing, there's like a big, basically like a big bar, right? And every level you go through, you get 1 point. Every point you could put into this tree. Now, Diablo Immortal does things a little bit different. Now, in regular Diablo, you have just one big basket of points that you can throw in. In Diablo Immortal, they have trees. And these trees have like different kind of, basically different, I would say, themes, right? You have the Survivor tree, the Vanquisher tree, the Treasure Hunter tree, and the Gladiator tree. And those are 4 that are available in Alpha. We're going to get 2 more when the game actually releases. We don't know what they are. There's 2 more trees coming. Now, Echo, have you played with the Survivor or the Vanquisher tree?
I have. On all of the classes, I got up to, I believe it was like 5 points. I think it was on my Barbarian, and I went on the Vanquisher tree because the Survivor tree was the one for like HP and for shielding, while the Vanquisher tree was to give you power and to make you attack stronger. And for me, playing the Barbarian, that's kind of what I wanted. I wanted to just go and beat things up a little bit stronger and a little bit more.
Exactly. So it kind of has a theme. The Survivor is all about you and surviving. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And the Vanquisher is all about you dealing damage against monsters. And if you take a look at this tree, right? And basically the way it works is you can have 1 active tree at a time. And each tree has nodes. There's circles and then there's square nodes. The circle nodes are passive stats that you get no matter if the tree is selected or not. So you can have a whole bunch of these circle ones active in a bunch of different other trees. And not have it selected and still be affecting your main stats. So if you take a look, like the first one, it gives you armor. So every time you put a Paragon into it, it gives you extra armor. And that's actually 50 points of, 50 points every time. And you could do it 10 times. So that's 500 plus armor when you max that thing out. So at 10 points, you get 500 plus armor effectively on your character all the time. And if you continue down that tree, as you can see, the next one is a Heart of Wrath. which gives you a couple of stats. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And then at the end, it gives you, the bottom one gives you damage. So as you go through and you up it, now it gives you armor and damage. So you're slowly and effectively kind of increasing the stats on your character. The first two circles, they will stay with you no matter what tree you have. So if you have the survivor tree active, you get these. That's kind of really cool. You can continually up and up and up your trees and, you know, kind of get a lot of these different passive stats. And as you go through and move on, as you max out that damage, the circle, it's going to move on to the next stat, and then the next stat, and then the next stat. Effectively, you can continually get all of these, you know, once you get to a high enough Paragon level.
Yeah, that's a great point that you made that most people are not going to realize, are that the circles are active. If you activate them, no matter what tree you're on, you're getting that stat. So there's tons of value in that. So that kind of gives you value in starting out all of the different trees, to be honest with you. Even when you get past Paragon 101, which there's only one person who got that far inside of the technical alpha, and that was Leviathan. So really, I would love to see what those stats look like, but we don't have that footage. That man grinded one character for 3 weeks for like 12 hours a day and got to Paragon 101 or 102. So pretty crazy stuff. But all right, so we understand the two top things and the two tiers, the Vanquisher and the other one. So what else is important for people to understand about Paragon now that we know what it is?
Well, what's really cool about this, as you get deeper and deeper into these trees, they give you better and better things. At first, it just gives you passive stats. But as you can see, the next point right here is Zeal. Zeal is a really good one. Like, what will Zeal do is every time you kill a monster, it increases your attack speed by 0.5%. But it can also stack 10 times. So you can continually do this and stack it 10 times. But if you look at the top tree, that heart one, the all the way one to the top, actually allow you to increase it to 15 times. So you're gonna be able to basically, once you max this out, stack Zeal 15 times. So every time you kill a monster, you get a little bit faster and a little bit faster and a little bit faster, and then more, and you can stack it 15 times. A really cool one. The one after that gives you a better critical hit damage. So as you see, as you build up in these things, it gives you more and more things. Like, this is a really cool one. Deep Pockets gives you more permanent rows. It allows you to add up to 5 rows to your stash. How cool is that? Be able to carry more things in your stash? That's pretty cool.
You know what I'm really liking here? A Paragon Tree. We don't have a skill tree in Diablo Immortal. In this game, we have skills that get upgraded and unlocked as you progress your character. So everyone's like, what do you mean no skill tree? Like, that's something that everyone expects from past Diablos. But here, it seems that they're doing it in the end game instead through the Paragon Tree, because there was no Paragon Tree earlier on in earlier Diablos, right?
Right. It was just a big kind of like a huge basket of things that you could throw into. Like, you could just have a bunch of points. You say, well, I'll put it into attack speed. I'm going to put it into that. I'm going to give it a little bit to this. Just basically continually up and up your skills. Here, it's done a really smart way. What's also cool about it, you can have work on certain trees and then activate different trees for different things. You know, you earlier said that like Leviathan really loves the whole PvP aspect of it. So he's going to be in the Guardian tree, right? And we'll talk about, I'm sorry, the Gladiator tree. We'll talk about that in a little bit, as well as the treasure hunter tree. But he will be in that one because that tree is good for his PvP activities. But if you want to go and do some, you know, some dungeons and you want to run some of that, switch over to the Vanquisher. Or if you decided that, you know what, I need some cool legendaries, or I need a little bit of extra gold or something like that, switch over to the treasure hunter tree. And there's more and more trees, and there's going to be more trees coming. This is really awesome. It's like a really cool way to be able to snap and kind of switch things. My only problem that I see with this is sometimes I'll probably forget to switch the trees as I'm playing.
Well, that was one of my suggestions, that we could have different build slots, right? And in that build slot, you could have gears equipped, gems equipped, and now even Paragon Tree choices equipped too. That's not in the game right now, is one of my suggestions. I think it's a good one, but really good points that you're making here, that you could start filling out all these trees and swap them according to what gameplay you're really interested in. Now we jumped on over to Survivor Tree, which looks a lot different from the Vanquisher Tree.
Yeah, Vanquisher Tree is all about the monsters. As you remember, we talked about the Zeal, which gives you extra attack speeds. And then later on, there's a Wrath function, which gives you basically extra damage and allows you just to attack monsters, kill them better. This is all about you. It's about survival. So it's just not about just life in general. The first one was increasing your life, which more life is always good. Well, a lot of these will basically will give you faster movement speed when you're under 30% life, or it'll give you more damage, or it'll give you more evasive, or it'll give you all kinds of things to basically allow you not to die. There's a lot of really cool ones in this tree, in the survivor tree. To be honest with you, I would probably go with the Vanquisher tree first. I have, like you said, I have multiple characters. I did pick the survivor tree for one of the characters. I kind of felt like it was a little bit of a mistake. The Vanquisher tree for me kind of felt like it was more, I don't know, it gave me more at the beginning. It gave me more when I was leveling because I was kind of going against monsters, so it kind of gave me the most bang for my buck, so to speak. But this tree really helps too.
Now, Nemo, you just mentioned something. You felt like you made a mistake. Does this mean you can't take back these points spent? Does that mean once you spend them, they are spent on that account? I know the answer to this, but I'm going to let you answer this one.
This is a good point that you bring up. Yes, if you bring up and if you put these points in, there is no way to get them back. So you better be sure you're picking the right stuff, because otherwise you'll have to start your character all over again.
Yeah, but with that being said, you're able to get enough points to fill out all the trees completely? Do we know that yet?
So another positive to the negative is that the circles count no matter what, right? So if you fill out the survivor tree, those circles are passive stats that are there with you no matter what. You swap off the tree, go to the next one, and you're good to go. You're not really missing too much. There will be a cap for sure. There's going to be a cap on Paragon. It'll probably go up with, with the updates and things like that. But you will be able to get obviously multiple points in a whole bunch of different trees. And the key to this will probably be not just the regular single build, but also the overall build as well, making sure that you get passive stats that you really like in other trees.
All right, so that makes sense. And you make a good point that even if you do spend it in the wrong tree, you are still getting that benefit from it. But you could catch up later on and it's not the worst. Or, I mean, a lot of people are going to play more than one character. There's going to be 6 characters upon release of Diablo Immortal Nemo. You know, I know for me, because I played every character so far, but we haven't played the Crusader or the Necromancer. I know you're going to start with the Crusader, I believe, and I'm going to be starting with the Necromancer. That doesn't mean it's going to be my favorite. The Barbarian is right now my favorite. So after I try both the Crusader and the Necro, if I don't like them more, I'm going to be starting another Barbarian class as well. So we're going to have to be doing Paragon and builds and all that stuff for all the characters that we decide, plus whatever other heroes come to the game later on.
I 100% agree with you. I mean, this is really exciting, and you definitely need to have, because like a lot of this stuff, if you look at some of the other trees, like in the survivor tree or in the vanquisher tree, you'll have offensive and defensive ratings. Those are really important. That's something that I didn't mention before. An offensive rating in a defense, for people that don't know, is like when you go up against monsters, if your offensive rating is not good enough, it was not higher than their defensive rating and vice versa, you're going to get smoked. Yeah. You have to have a high enough offensive and defensive rating, and you have to keep those up. You have to keep going with those. And they're located in multiple different trees. So basically they're kind of telling you that you're going to be in multiple trees at all times and just swapping through them depending on where you are in the game, like what kind of a scenario you're in.
So at the end of the day, for a well-rounded player that plays all different elements of the game, you may need all the different Paragon trees available because they all have their purpose. I mean, it actually sounds like they built this system for everyone to use effectively.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's really amazing. I really love this, and this is one of my favorite things about Immortal.
Yeah, and it's funny because this is one of the things that I didn't dive much into. I didn't really get that much information on it because all I was focused on with the alpha, because we only had it for 3 weeks really, was just playing characters and trying to see what I can get and to see how far I can get all of them. And I didn't get into more of the end game, which some people got heavily into. I know that you dipped your toes in there a little bit, and me, you know, I got near the waters and just tinkered around in it a little bit. Nemo, I think we covered Paragon pretty well, but before we close out the video, are there any last things that you want to mention to everyone watching right now about Paragon that you think is really important that they should really make sure they understand before you're out of here?
Absolutely. I really think it's important to get how Paragon affects endgame, right? If you really think about and what's really exciting about this is there's going to be multiple different Paragon trees, and the development team can just in a snap of their fingers come in there, introduce a new tree, and basically change the game completely, change the meta, change the way things work. These Paragon trees are super important. They're really going to be able to affect your gameplay. And I think that it's very, very important for you to make sure you get to max level and pick which Paragon tree you want to get into first. And as you get higher and higher, of course, you're going to get the latest Paragon levels, and that's where it's going to get really, really exciting.
Yeah, and Nemo, people have been asking in my comment section, what happens after you get to a max character? Because we've kind of estimated 20 hours or maybe a little less or more to get to level 45, and then an average of 2 hours per level from 45 to 60, which is about 50 hours total. And then you get to the Paragon system on one character, and Paragon is a crazy grind, a crazy amount of time, and that's the end game stuff. So really, when we're thinking about it, talking realistically, you could have hundreds of hours into one of your heroes just to start really finishing up and like starting to fill out your Paragon, and like really get to unlock that level 101. And we saw there were higher level Paragon parts of the tree too that are going to come in time. Plus, Blizzard over time, they can continuously add more because there's no seasons in Diablo Immortal. So when you max your character, that's going to be your max character. So I anticipate Paragon going on and on to kind of, be supportive of people with those max characters, because we're going to have some people that choose a demon hunter and play the demon hunter forever, for years. And they're going to be up to Paragon 2,571. Who knows where it can go, but the cool thing is that you will be able to build out like that. So Nemo, thanks so much for coming through, man. I really appreciate your expertise in the topic.
It's always a pleasure being here, hanging out with you and with everybody over here at the Echo fam. Thanks so much for having me. I can't wait to be back here next time.
It'll be soon. Now, I want to let you guys know a few things. First of all, I'm going to urge you again to check out Nemo. I'll be linking all of his stats and stuff down below in the description of the video. Also, the footage we're looking at right here is actually the Scrappy Academy YouTube channel's footage. So thank you so much, Nemo, for supplying the footage so we can actually get a good look at Paragon, because for me, I didn't have as much of this footage again because I didn't do as much in Paragon. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that this explained Paragon to you if you had no idea what it was, and I hope that if you do understand it and what it is, you now understand how it works inside of Diablo Immortal, because it is a different system from what we've seen in other Diablo games. But I want to remind you guys, we have Discord servers, both of us do. I'll be linking those down below, where we can come mobile gaming communities with a heavy focus on Diablo Immortal. Come on through and join them. And also, we both live stream on YouTube and Twitch. I'll be linking all that below. Make sure you check out the pinned comments as well. But now I feel like a commercial, Nemo. I'm talking so much about all these things that we do, advertising us. So we better just close out the video. I love this one. We don't have a lot of action on the screen, but there's a lot of education going on in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had a fun time with me and Nemo here today. Check out some of the other content. And until then, be good.